Good morning. This is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. Saturday morning programming brought to you by Outlook Financial Center. We'll get the mayor's report underway. With me is Mayor Michael Beamish.
He is here, and certainly a greetings on this nice weekend. I hope it'll be a good weekend for everybody that's listening out there.
Fun weekend here in downtown Troy, and we're going to get to the fun part here in just a minute. We'll recap last weekend because although it was a little wet on Friday night, we had the Pink Ribbon Girls event, and there was a marvelous turnout.
When you think of the weather conditions being rainy and cool or cold, more damp,
yes,
and we went down and to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 to 700 runners lined up, ready to go for their 5K. It's a fundraiser for the Pink Ribbon Girls. Seeing Heather Salazar there and all her workers and volunteers. It was a very nice event, but a very rain-soaked event, and it kind of dampened the spirits. But we still had a good 5K run.
Now I heard there was close to 700.
That's right,
runners that were at the event,
and that's what the fundraiser was all about.
Absolutely,
so they registered, and so I estimated. I had the privilege of starting the race. There were probably at least 500 runners. I think 700 were registered, but the weather does play a factor in getting people out.
But it was still a great fundraiser.
Yes, and it's a good event, one that I'm glad Troy is hosting. I know the very next day they had an event down in Dayton, so there's a lot of communities that support the Pink Ribbon Girls.
Absolutely. Now to the fun of today. If you wonder why we sound like vampires, it's because it's hometown Halloween in downtown Troy today. I think you said it just a second ago. The kids are going to be lining up on Prouty Plaza here for
just about as we speak. They're starting to line up. The judging will be done at the Government Center. They'll line them up for the parade downtown to Prouty Plaza. We will have the award ceremony there. And it's great to see youngsters and adults in costumes. And so I hope people will come out just to turn out to welcome the Halloween spirit in downtown Troy. And then after the awards have been presented, the little ghosts and goblins will get to walk around downtown Troy and participate in the Trick or Treat Day sponsored by Main Street.
It's a ghoulishly good time.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Come down. I might even come down or go down and put on my Dracula cape, go around and see if I can collect up any candy.
Good luck on that one.
I think the kids might have me beat. I'm not as cute as what they are. But if you're traveling around downtown Troy in your vehicle this morning, use extra caution just because we do have the little ghosts and goblins out. They're going to be crossing the streets and around the square and in and out of the businesses. So just keep an extra eye peeled.
And especially with the new traffic pattern, especially at the pedestrian crossings into downtown square, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you mentioned that because state law requires that we stop in those intersections and let the little youngsters or any adult pass on the pedestrian walkways.
All right. And with that in mind, while you're paying attention, is anybody in the crosswalks and you're stopping there, keep in mind then when you head on to the traffic circle, you still have to yield to the traffic that's going around the circle. Sometimes I think people get, they stop there and then they just, that's when you start hearing the horns blasting. And luckily, I've never seen anyone get hit, but I do hear a lot of horns.
I'm sure you do from the studio.
Yes.
That's true.
Now, we've got, like you said, the trick-or-treating going on. When that wraps up at noon today, then it goes down to the Boo Bash at the Troy Hayner. They've got that big, their superhero-themed party going on today. But for Beggars Night in Troy and all of Miami County,
Correct.
this is everybody. It's going to be on Tuesday this year.
Yeah, the 30th, Tuesday, October 30th. And that's really important because I don't want anybody to miss out on the Beggars Night. That's 6 to 8 throughout Miami County. This is a wonderful week for youngsters to enjoy and to be safe, though, to be safe. I appreciate what you said earlier about safety and being aware.
Well, it's just that, kids are excited, and little kids especially. They're thinking about the candy. They're thinking about their next stop. So in case one of them decides they're going to dart out, just slow down and be very cautious and watchful.
Very good. Good suggestions.
Something else coming up, and I think it means we're going to see a little bit more daylight in the morning. We've got our time change is Sunday, November 4th.
Yeah, we need to tell everybody to fall backwards.
Yes.
But that'll be on November 4th, and so people need to make that marking on their calendars so that they don't, either be too early or too late for an event.
Well, you can either set your alarm for 2 a.m. on that Sunday morning and get up and change your clock, or change it Saturday night before you go to bed.
How we do that?
That way you wake up on time for church in the morning and breakfast or whatever your plans may be on Sunday.
But that's an important event, falling back on November 4th.
And another reminder for everyone out there, because it's something I believe the fire department has always pushed. At the time change, that's when you change the batteries in your smoke detectors. A lot of new smoke detectors, though, don't have changeable batteries. They have a built-in battery, so they have a lifespan on those. If you're still changing the batteries in a smoke detector or your carbon monoxide detector, chances are it's time that you change the smoke detector or carbon monoxide detector.
It's a good time, fall back, spring forward. Those are two easy times to remember and check everything. Smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors are so important.
Oh, it'll save your life.
That's right.
In the event that something should happen in your house.
Correct.
Hit the test button on it. Make sure they work.
Beep.
and do that at least once a week. And then you just have that peace of mind knowing. Round 2 of leaf cleanup.
It is starting on October 29th. We have moved through the city. Of course, we realize round 1 usually has very few leaves. This round, you're starting to see the leaves turn and fall.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're going to see a lot more rakes out there. And we've always said rake them out beyond the curb so that if it rains, there's a pathway to the storm sewers. But they will start picking up round 2 with zones and move through the city in zones. So get the leaves put out by the curbside. Not on the curb, but away from the curb.
Give yourself that little extra space.
And that helps you as a resident. And then sometime during the next couple of weeks, you'll see the leaf crews out and about. And we'll probably have a round 3 this year. The leaves are falling slowly.
Slow start on that. And as a matter of fact, my flower beds started blooming again. I had more flowers. Unfortunately, when I was looking at them, now everything has been frostbitten.
Yes.
And I need to start chopping things out. So if you get your big recycle bags that you can pick up, and you have those items, you can cut those out of the flower beds, bag them up, stick them out with your trash, and they'll make sure to pick those up. Or you can take them out to the Dye Mill Road facility.
Still open.
Still open. So cleaning up around the house, that makes it super easy. Won't be long. I think we're going to see, while we've been looking at the fountain is up and running, and the new lights. Yes, we saw the new lights in there. I'm so happy that we got a chance to see the changes to the fountain before we see what's coming next, which is the fountain disappears, and we're going to see the big green box.
That's right.
And the Christmas tree coming downtown
When we
soon.
see the green box, we know there's not too far down the road when we will see the donated Christmas tree coming down to downtown Troy. I can't pinpoint the exact day because it's all weather related, but it will be the week of November the 5th.
And also Pickwick Crane, that works with their schedule because they come down and place the tree for us.
And they're so good to work with, and they're so helpful. In the next week or so, we'll announce the donor of the tree. But Pickwick Steel has always been supportive. Our park department, our electricians, all work so carefully together to make that event a special day. And people come downtown
It's
just
so
to
neat.
watch the placement.
I mean, as just an individual, we're used to seeing either the tree drug up out of the basement and put together, or, it fits on the roof of the car. This is a Christmas tree that goes on a semi-truck trailer. And it takes a crane to stand it up. So it's something really neat to witness.
And it's anchored, and I mean, there's a lot of volunteer effort that goes into placing that tree, but it leads up to another very big event, and that's the Grand Illumination.
I can't wait. Well, we get all that good food the day before, and then we get to come downtown the day after Thanksgiving for the Grand Illumination. It's just so neat to see everyone out. Just the whole atmosphere is magical.
And to see Santa arrive, wow, that's so neat. We do the countdown. It's exciting. We're looking to that countdown be at 7 o'clock. Last year there were some people still arriving, and when we did the countdown, I just want to make sure everybody knows well in advance we're going to try to set that for a 7 o'clock countdown time. So make sure you make your plans to be downtown.
All right. And you and Mrs. Beamish, of course, not only do you work on your reading of the month before Christmas.
Months before Christmas.
But I'm sure you've both been checking all the twinkle lights that go on the tree to make sure they light.
Yeah, the electricians have been working really hard in getting the placement of those lights, and everything's going to kind of burst open with all lights, and it'll be a wonderful time. We're going to have a Santa house again down on Prouty, and it's just a wonderful season as we lead up from the Halloween activities of the fall into the winter activities of the Grand Illumination and Christmas time.
And I do want to point this out. Veterans Day this year
yes,
falls on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's, Veterans Day, 11th month, 11th day, 11th hour. Well, this year it does fall on Sunday. So people have to make some decisions because Sunday is a lot of worship times for a lot of churches. And I want to make sure everybody understands that Riverside, we do still have the Veterans Day program that will take place on the 11th at the 11th hour.
Okay. Mark that one on your calendars. And like you said, there will be some decisions that folks will make on that day. And maybe they can go to church early and then they can make the veteran ceremony.
A lot of different church worship services out there.
All right. Okay, we've talked about Veterans Day, the Grand Illumination, tree placement, time change, even Halloween and the Pink Ribbon Girls. There's one more thing that I wanted to bring up.
It's a busy time.
It is a busy time. Now, this actually happens before the Grand Illumination, and it's the holiday welcome weekend in Miami County.
Thank you for saying Miami County. It's not just Troy, but
right.
there are 5 communities that are involved in this. And it's a way of encouraging people to come down to their downtowns, shop small business, and prepare for the Christmas season, the holiday season. And it'll kick off the basically a week before the Grand Illumination ceremony. And there's where we'll really test the lights. I think throughout Miami County will light the lights as preparation for the Christmas holiday season. And again, you said it, November 15th, 16th, and 17th in the Miami County area. I believe 5 communities will be participating in their downtowns. We will be one. We'll have the lights on. But the key is after we do the lights for the come downtown, we'll turn them off again. I want people to understand that we want to have a special illumination ceremony in Troy.
But we're not turning on the tree proper.
Thank you for saying
It's some of the Christmas decorations will light up for that weekend, but we're saving the grand finale for the grand illumination.
We'll still have that big countdown on the 23rd of November. So you'll see lights on, and that's good because that is to gravitate people to our downtown small businesses, which is very good. But then you'll see the lights go off, and then we'll invite everybody in the whole region to come to Troy and be a part of our countdown with the season.
So they'll get a taste of what it's going to be like for the grand illumination.
Minus the Christmas tree, right?
And I think that, the other communities are operating kind of on that same premise too. They're going to give a little flavor of Christmas for the holiday welcome weekend.
Right.
And then they have their big illumination ceremonies just like we do.
It'll be great. And the Christmas tree will be placed so people can kind of look at it as they're walking around downtown. But throughout Miami County, enjoy the small business ambiance and downtowns.
And the Main Street organizations, I just have to give them kudos. If this were 1980 or in the 80s, our downtowns were starting to thin out. And everybody was gravitating towards the interstate and new. With Main Street really working hard to get the downtowns back alive, and they have done such a fabulous job. We have so many unique stores and restaurants in downtown Troy, but not just here in Troy, all of Miami County.
That's right. It's a vibrant county right now, and we're very blessed to have people who are partners working together to promote.
All right. Mayor, I think that's a lot.
We covered a lot today. If people were listening to keep up with us, but I do want to mention we don't have city council this Monday.
Okay.
Because that's the 29th. We will have council again on November 5th, which is a Monday night.
All right. And as always, you can watch council live online at troyohio.gov. There's a line you click on that takes you right into the chamber. You can watch it and listen in. Or, better yet, you can even come down. It's always open to the public.
So it's a good time.
Thank you so much, Mayor. This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.